Good evening. I think we can all agree we all want to try and retire at 56, right? My name is Michael Thomas, and I'm with My Possibilities, and tonight I get to tell you about our socially innovative idea, MPact. And I get to introduce you to an amazing group of people that, despite the fact that they're wonderful, they don't have the chance of getting into the workforce like you and I do. See, we serve hipsters, not that kind of hipster. Our guys are hugely important people, or more specifically, adults that have intellectual or developmental disabilities like autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, or traumatic brain injuries. And these are guys that absolutely want to get into the workforce, but because of some misconceptions that are out there, they have a difficult time doing so. Diversity and inclusion departments all over the country are furthering the conversation about the importance of hiring a diverse workforce. But our hipsters are still the last population being brought to the employment table. See, misconceptions about hiring somebody with disabilities, partnered with a lack of educational and job training opportunities, means many of these individuals will go years, decades, and sometimes their entire lives without collecting a paycheck, despite the fact that they have the desire and the passion and the ability to do so. Unfortunately, in this great state, this has not been identified as a great problem. We're currently ranked 49th in funding as it relates to funding for people with disabilities. And that isn't the only issue. There simply aren't enough companies hiring our hipsters. So even those that do have access to funding from the state, 92% of them are still unemployed. And we've done the math, and we know for a fact there are over 40,000 hipsters in the North Texas area alone that are ready to work if they're given an opportunity to educational chances and companies that will hire them. So our organization, My Possibilities, for the better part of 10 years, has become a leader and a benchmark in educational programming and job training services for this population. And we think we can do better. Moving forward with our socially innovative idea, MPact, we think we're going to not only serve more people in an educational capacity, but we believe that we're going to be able to place and support nearly 1,000 hipsters in the North Texas region in the next 5 years alone. And here's how we're going to do that. MPact serves as the bridge between our educational programming and the workforce that's asking for our help to employ them. But it's better than that. It provides a sustainability tool, a source of revenue for our organization to continue growing and serving more people. So we're going to build the first ever, one-of-a-kind hipster retail training center. And this may look like a normal retail site, but it's going to serve our mission in two very distinct ways. First, it's going to provide our hipsters a chance to come out of our educational programming, move into a job, earn a paycheck, engage with the community, and prepare for their long-term job somewhere else. Because there will be a hipster that comes from behind them ready for their chance. And we'll do this by bringing in partnerships and businesses that are great fits for their job skills, like a restaurant or a coffee shop, a gaming cafe, or a grocery store, among many others. But more importantly, it brings these companies into the retail site, and it places them squarely rooted in the midst of our mission. And it allows their employees to work alongside and to support people with disabilities, taking that culture back to their company and their businesses across the state and hopefully across the nation, changing that culture of inclusion. Now, in the last year, a lot has happened for us. MPact has gone from an idea to a partnership of companies who are excited about being at the retail site with us. So with your investment tonight, we're going to be able to further this plan, finalize these partnerships, and begin building this retail site. And so I'm asking you to enable us. Enable us to place more hipsters in jobs. Hipsters like John. You see, John has been working at the same grocery store now for 23 years. It's been a Tom Thumb, a Minyards, and an Albertsons in that time period. So you can imagine it's gone through dozens of paint jobs, it's gone through hundreds of employees, and it's gone through probably millions of items on the shelves. The only thing that's consistent in that local grocery store is John. And the last time that that brand changed over, people from the community came in, looked for the manager, not to ask them what was going to be sold on the shelves, but was to ensure that John still had his job. That's what MPact is about. It's about transforming lives. It's about creating opportunity. And it's about bringing thousands of hipsters into the workforce in North Texas. Thank you very much.
Okay, great job, Michael. All right, here we go. 5-minute Q&A round. Why don't we start with Ken? Why don't you kiss off, Ken?
So, Michael, congratulations. I love the concept of hipsters and branding that, immediately changing the tenor of the conversation. Real big picture question. Retail is really tough. Restaurants and retails routinely go in and out of business. So this is a lot of money to plunk down on a retail restaurant concept. For this to be sustainable and impactful over the long haul, how does the model, do you think about sustainability, or does it just rely on continued philanthropy?
Yeah, I think big box retail is certainly having issues, but experiential retail, an opportunity to still engage with people, is not going out of style. And we believe that this collective retail site will bring people in, and whether they're going to a coffee shop or they're going to go buy some soap, whatever it is, they have an opportunity to see the value in employing people with disabilities. So it's less of a retail site and more of a cultural boon to get our guys in the workforce.
Congratulations. I think the branding is fantastic. Question around ranking in the state. 49th out of the states. What makes this program distinctive that will move us up in the ranking?
I would love to say what we're going to do is going to change a state perspective. Our model has been to operate within being 49th and to prove that job training, job placement, and getting our hipsters into the community is saving the state money. It's generating economic value because that individual now, rather than sitting in a program or an adult daycare, can go out and earn income and put that back into the community. It's going to take time to get to that point, but we think if we can do it on a large scale, the state will see we should reinvest in education and job training.
So thank you very much. This is a wonderful innovation. Question for you. Beyond retail, what do you see for MPact?
MPact has an opportunity to be a mechanism for true business and bringing our guys into a variety of industries. There's diversity and inclusion departments that are killing for the opportunity for somebody to go out there and train them. That's the other side of the issue. We can train them all day long, but people still have to hire them. So we see MPact also as an educator to the for-profit world who want to engage in this mission of cultural inclusion and potentially generate revenue on that side as well.
So my family would say don't go here, but as a person with disabilities, in a wheelchair, that was for you, William and Charlie, where do you see this collective retail shop existing in the North Texas landscape?
Yeah, so last year in 2018, My Possibilities moved onto a 20-acre campus located on George Bush Turnpike. We literally have reserved, the property that you saw in the image is a 4-acre piece of property that faces the service road where 150,000 cars a day pass by that location. So we would utilize our site to develop the MPact Retail Training Center and be able to not have to go out and purchase property to do so.
On the site, it's awesome. I mean, your presentation is awesome and what you're doing is spectacular. But the picture that you showed of the site in the building, have you gone as far as pricing it out in terms of what you think it's going to cost to bring this dream to reality?
The actual construction of the retail site itself? Yeah, as investing the land into the project, we believe between $5 and $6 million would do the design, the construction, and get it up and running. We've done a pro forma associated with 70% occupancy all the way up to 100% occupancy. And at 70%, the MPact Retail Training Center generates more than our largest fundraiser on an annual basis. And that's precisely what we're trying to do.
Thank you.
Yep.
Fantastic. Less than 1 minute left, judges. Less than 1 minute. One final question.
So I'm the token mean British judge tonight.
Right.
And so
Don't be Simon. Don't be Simon.
You finished tonight by telling the story of John and saying that was about impact. And to challenge that a bit, that was one story. Tell me how many stories like that you're going to be able to tell if we invest in you tonight.
You know, what's unique about this is not that John has been able to hold a job for 23 years. what's unique is that 23 years ago, a grocery store gave John that opportunity. And we have stories all over the region from 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, of people that still have the jobs that we placed them in. Of the 1,000 hipsters we're planning to place over the course of the next 5 years, we think there's a lot of Johns.
So you'll measure that in hundreds, just to get a sense of the real impact. I think there's hundreds of people come the end of this.
We hope to place 100 people minimum every single year and continue to support them in the job, despite the fact that funding doesn't actually provide ongoing support for these individuals.
Very good. Let's give it up.
All right. Thank
Great
you very
job.
much. Appreciate it.
Great
Thank
job.
you.
All right.